In this lecture, we will talk about asynchronous functions, a topic that might confuse a lot of developers, but we will see with some easy and then complicated examples that it's really not that complicated. And to understand, we will have some basic examples, but as a requirement or as a recommendation for this lecture, I encourage you to watch the video from Jack Archibald on YouTube about the JavaScript event loop. It is a great talk and it will show you very funny and a very complex talk about how the event loop works. Well, it's not a requirement, but I recommend you to watch that video first. Well, let's look at this very basic example. You know, we have a console log, then we are having a set timeout call, and in JavaScript we use this set timeout function to pause the execution and to wait a little the execution for our programs, and then we have another console log. Well, if you're coming from other languages, then you might expect that this line will be executed, then this line will be executed, then this line will be executed. Well, let's see what happens in reality. And as you can see, first of all, we have the line 3 is executed, but then we can see the console log from line 9, and only in the end we see the output of the set timeout function. Well, why is this happening? Because JavaScript and functions in JavaScript are not executed in a sequential order. You know, things are not executed in the way we are putting them on the screen inside our files. And this is the source for a lot of confusion inside the developers, beginners, and even advanced developers. Well, let's see some examples to try to understand why this is happening. And inside our code, this is happening because this set timeout function is put back on the event loop, on the JavaScript event loop, and the execution of the program just continues with whatever comes next. When this function returns, then we will see its output. This is the reason for JavaScript executing this line of code, then this line of code, and only in the end it finishes executing these long tasks. Basically, JavaScript doesn't pause when it encounters long tasks. This is what you have to understand. And in this lecture, we will see a way in which we can actually pause, if we can say it like this, pause that execution and only proceed when that execution is done. Let's see another example, and let me make some room inside this file, or even better, I will just comment this out and let's see another example. Let's say that we have this function called getEmployeeData, which accesses an external service over the internet, and it will get some data about our employees or about a specific employee. Well, this is a long task since it is accessing an external service. And to simulate this long task, I added inside the return type of this, the return block of this function, a promise.resolve from our employee data. Now this function returns a promise of whatever data we have right here. Well, when we are putting things like this, we are returning a promise. Another way in which we can make this is by making this function async. But let's talk about this in a moment. We have this getEmployeeData. Let's use this function and let's see if we can get this function, if we can get this data. So here I will say let employee data, and now we can just say here get employee data. But if I will hover over this employee data, you will see that this is a promise of whatever is returned by this function. So it's not really an employee data. Well, how we can make this an employee data? Well, if we are having promises inside our code, we can get their values by using the then function of a promise. Alright, and this then function is called when the promise is returned. So here I will say this then, and then we have a callback right here, and then here we can say our employee data is our data. That's great, and let's now see if we can see our employee data. So here I will say console log our employee data. Let's see if we can see it. Let's execute this code. Alright, and we have a problem right here. Why is that? Because for sure inside this block our employee data is returned, but inside the console is still not existing. Why is that? Because this getEmployeeData is a long-running function, an asynchronous function, and of course its execution is not waiting our console log. That's why our console log is happening before this getEmployeeData is happening. That's why we see here undefined. Well, to actually see something, we can call another then, and here inside this another then, we can put yet another callback, and here we can say console log employee data. Alright, what's the problem right here? Yes, this is of type any, no problem at this point. Alright, let's see if now we can finally find out this employee data. And yes, now we finally get this employee data. And basically you see what's the problem with these asynchronous functions and with this promise. They are really hard to read and to understand. Even with the very basic example, we have problems of this kind of timing executions. And for this, JavaScript introduced lately, I mean not so lately anymore, a few years ago, some syntactic sugar called promise, await and async syntax. Let's see how this is working. Well, let me comment this out and let's see another way in which we can do the same thing. Here I'll say const employee data, and we can use the await keyword get employee data. And now if we hover over our employee data, we will see that this is not a promise of an object anymore, this is the real object. The problem is that for most Node.js environments we can't just use this top level await keyword, and we can make the change to skip to the ES 2022 version or ES Next versions, but a more simple solution would be to just wrap these calls inside another function. So here I'll say function wrapper. We don't have any parameters, and let's just move this right here inside this wrapper. And if we are using the await keyword inside the a function, then this function needs to be an asynchronous function. And now everything is alright. Let's now call this wrapper and let's see if this is working. Let's now print our employee data, console log our employee. Let's see if this is working, and let's execute this one more time. Yes, our function execution works just fine. And as you can see, now our program execution is not proceeding right away when we are making an asynchronous code. This await keyword means that tells the program execution, hey, wait until you get all your data and only then proceed with the execution. Basically, this is what await does. And we can call await on functions that return promises. Well, this is a much easier to read and to understand syntax, and I think it is one of the best things that happened to JavaScript. Let's proceed into the next lecture and talk about other promise methods.